What's up, everybody? It's your boy Virtual. So I watched the Chelsea game back and decided to do my first podcast today. I would have done it sooner, but after that West Brom game, after watching it, your boy was pretty upset. Not even gonna lie, rightfully so though. There was no reason Chelsea should be 3-0 down in the 30th minute to West Brom. West Brom just got promoted, and they've lost both of their first games in the Premier League, one of which Everton scored 5 goals on them. Yet they scored 3 on us in the first 30. So I think, did we deserve that? I wouldn't say so necessarily. We had possession of the ball, most of the game actually. I think we ended up with 76-77% possession. So it was clearly, us who dominated. However, our mistakes. It was mistakes. Kepa wasn't on the field, so other people had to make mistakes. The first goal came from Marcus Alonso's mistake. It was a poor header, and then Robinson capitalized. Second goal, it was a Thiago mistake. That man just slipped. I'm assuming he got too comfortable, lost the ball. Boom, Robinson capitalizes again, and we're already 2 down, and that's 25 minutes that we're 2 down in, and so I didn't know where it was gonna go from there. It was looking ugly, and then once again, I believe it was off a corner kick, not directly, but like it took one header. Somebody flicked it on, and then Bartley finished in the corner, and he's a defender, and I think that one came from just decent attacking play from West Brom and poor marking from Reece James, which has seemed to be in the trend because he missed Mane last game when he scored, but that's just inexperience. It's only his second year in the Premier League, so I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt, because other than that, his game was actually really solid. Reece James was one of the main reasons we got back into it, because he was doing bits, and he's one of the few people who are properly aggressive on both ends, because Christensen and Thiago Silva are both pretty not in the best shape, you know what I'm saying, but I can't rely on them too much. It doesn't feel as comfortable as someone like Aspi. Unfortunately, Aspi was injured, so Marcus Alonso had to start on the left. That clearly showed to be a mistake. Alonso was getting beat. That man, oh my goodness. And it was clear that our left side was the weak side. That's actually where both goals came from. The first 2 goals, both of the mistakes were on the left side. And it's really unfortunate that that's just how things happen to be, since Chilwell is also injured, who we just signed. And so we're still waiting for him. Also, going off injuries, Pulisic was also injured. So that left side was just flawed, I guess, because Werner doesn't even... He's not a winger before he is a striker. So it was like Alonso and Werner... And most of the time, Werner plays, he's free roaming. He's running around the whole field because he's usually a free roam striker, which is what I would like him to play. But instead, we had Tammy up there. I'm not sure why Tammy started at the 9 and we put Werner out wide when we could have just started Werner at the 9 and move Callum Hudson-Odoi out wide, because that man actually came on. I believe it was halftime. That man came off at halftime. And that man was putting in work. He's the only reason we got back into the game, because he was putting in work on that side. Also, I'm not the biggest fan of Kai. He had a hat trick, and everybody was looking real excited. They're like, "Oh, he's back! He's ready to play." But I still needed to wait and see it, and so I was hoping that this was going to be the game. But it wasn't. It was pretty disappointing. Kai Havertz only had 52 passes, whereas Kovacic had 53. But he came off at halftime. So I wasn't sure what kind of move that was to take out Kovacic at halftime. For one, that's a really early time to take somebody off. And second, Kovacic was the only reason we had, such a good attack, is because Kovacic was able to take the ball and push it forward. Christensen and Thiago are not, center backs who push the ball forward. Conte is not someone who pushes the ball forward. Maybe once in a while he'll get the ball and move forward, but he's honestly hasn't even been playing that deep. He's been playing a higher role, which I'm not a big fan of either, because Conte's not someone who could finish in the attacking third. He's someone who needs to stay back, be right in front of the center backs, and defend anything that comes in front of him, because that man is a brick wall. But yeah, Kovacic came off. Mason Mount moved from out wide to the middle next to Conte, and so when they played together, I wasn't too mad about it. Conte did play deeper because Mason Mount does not defend at all, but Mason Mount, that man was doing bids. I had questions last season when he came on, and Frank really relied on him, gave him a regular starting position. I wasn't so sure about it, but Mason Mount has been, he's been decent quality. I still think he should play in the center. I'm not a big fan of him playing out wide just because he doesn't give me confident winger feelings. I don't see him, beating anybody down the sideline and getting the ball in, or I don't see him cutting in and getting a shot. He did score from a shot from the side, but it wasn't from him cutting in. The ball was laid off. He had a great touch. Great finish. But I think he'd be better in Kai's position. Maybe move Kai out wide or take him off, honestly. Kai is not ready yet. He's still, maybe 21, so I'm not sure if he's ready to play top flight. We should have someone with more experience playing that 10, because that position, there's no way Kovacic should have, as many passes as you did in one half than as many passes as you got the whole game. There's no reason that should happen if you are playing the 10. And also, for those who are confused, the 10 is the center attacking mid role. Our attack is supposed to work through him, but that man, he doesn't seem like he wants it. Like he doesn't seem like he's going out of his way to go get the ball and make something happen. He's more reactive than proactive, and I can't have that, or we can't have that as a team that wants to finish top 4. Ideally top 2 with all the signings that we made this season. So going back to the goals, so after West Brom scored their 3, we actually went into halftime. We didn't even score before halftime. So we went into halftime, 3-0 down. Coming out, we looked, I wouldn't even say we looked better. We looked about the same. It's just that we did a better job at finishing our opportunities. In the 55th minute, Mason Mount scored. It was a great finish. Then the second goal, that's when, we started to actually look like a team. Werner was playing out wide. He was actually playing next to Callum Hudson-Odoi, so I don't know where Werner was playing. Because they're I guess they're both supposed to be wingers, but they're on them both on the same side. But he played at the Callum Hudson-Odoi. Then Callum played a 1-2 with Kai, scored, and that was a quality, that was a quality goal. So that sort of shows me that Werner can play, up top and move around as much as he wants. I don't think he should be limited to a side. I think if he was able to play a striker role and move left to right and allow the wingers to move in and rotate, I think that would be, a perfect attack for us. That's essentially what we need, because it ended up working out, and that's how we got our second goal. After that, it honestly got kind of ugly. When we started getting desperate for a goal, when it gets to that 80th minute and everything after that, it started getting kind of ugly because everybody was pushing forward. Everybody was looking for a goal. Everybody forgot that you have to start from the back, and who's going to start it? Thiago's off the field because Giroud came on. So we have Christensen, Conte, and Aspi in the back. Aspi, out of the 3, Aspi is the easiest or the most confident I am in moving forward and actually getting the ball forward. But at the end of the day, that's not even his role. That's not his first role. We shouldn't have to rely on him. There should be a different player. So I was a little worried, but we were pushing forward. Just I don't even know if we had a plan of attack. It didn't seem like we had someone we wanted to go to or some play or setup that we had ready. But we just kept pushing, kept shooting, and eventually Mason Mount got a shot off, and Tammy had finished the rebound. Finally, Tammy got his goal because he had a couple of opportunities that he could have finished, but he's just not, a world-class player yet. Tammy's not a world-class player, so why is he starting over a world-class player at the 9 when we're supposed to rely on the 9 for the goals? That was a confusing, move by Frank. This game, at the end of the day, I question Frank's decision-making. He managed to, pull it back, but at the end of the day, we shouldn't have went that far down. And you can blame the players, they made their mistakes, and everybody looked to too casual, too comfortable, and almost inexperienced. Everybody just like, it didn't look like everybody was ready, but we are a fresh team relatively. You know, most of our players are only entering their second season, and then we sign like 5 or 6 new players that are definitely going to get some playing time. So it will be a difficult start, to say the least. I wouldn't be surprised if we have a slow start. I wouldn't be surprised if, honestly, Frank Lampard got sacked at this rate. But I still do have faith. Now that we have a new keeper, I don't want to put faith in him yet. Mendy, we just signed Mendy, a French goalkeeper, I believe. But I don't want to put faith in him yet because that's exactly what happened to Kepa. We tried to, replace Courtois, one of the best keepers in the world at the time. And it was just, it's been tragic. I'm sure if you follow football, everybody knows how tragic Kepa's been. So we've been looking for a replacement. And Caballero, he's a decent keeper, but that man is old. That man needs to go. But he's been a good temporary, but we need someone else to rely on because we got too many mistakes happening, and it's coming from all parts of the field. And that's about everybody that I wanted to take note of. There's no one else that I want to call out or do anything. But yeah, thank you guys for tuning in to my first podcast. I'm hoping that the following podcasts don't disappoint me as much as this one did. I hope that I have more to talk about and that we perform better as a unit, better as a squad. And I hope Frank makes better decisions, or I hope that his decisions turn out to, provide us with top 2, minimal top 2. If we win the league, we win the league. But I don't know. Liverpool's looking pretty good. So, yeah. Thank you guys, and I'll catch you next match week.